Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast, the world's #1 community for brilliant childcare leaders. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches, best-selling authors, and have personally helped thousands of childcare owners around the world achieve incredible growth. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast, Brian and Carol Dupre.
Hello, welcome to episode 20 of the Childcare Genius Podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
Before we begin, we want to thank you, the listener, very much for making 2022 a very successful one for Childcare Genius.
In 2022, we wrote 4 books, and we've now become the #1 childcare business book authors of all time. And we're very excited about that.
We also recorded 38 podcast episodes this year when we had some amazing guests.
We're already working on our next book, which will be published in the spring.
And in 2023, we're going to continue to grow Childcare Genius University, which is our coaching program. Our goal is not to be the biggest, simply to be the best for the 100 owners that we are blessed to work with. And as a gift for listening to this podcast, we'd like to give you, everybody, a listener, a copy of our book, Advanced Childcare Business Strategies, Secrets to Profitability, Expansion, and Wealth Creation, absolutely free. If you're in the United States, we'll give you a copy free. And also, we're going to pay for the shipping. And if you want to order today, you can go to childcaregenius.com/books, and we will get this book in your hands. And we're getting a lot of great positive feedback on this book. It helps you build a large childcare business that's profitable. We're excited about that.
Our guest on the podcast today is Dana Oliver. Dana is the president and CEO of Adventure Kids Playcare.
So Adventure Kids Playcare is a drop-in childcare franchise that is in high demand right now. It's currently expanding into new markets across the country, and it's a concept created by President and CEO Dana Oliver. The brand is the only hourly drop-in childcare franchise that specializes in catering to the flexible work schedules of parents in a post-COVID world. And Dana believes that providing much-needed flexible childcare is a great business model. And she leaves behind a successful corporate career to pursue this amazing childcare concept. I've coached Dana for over a year personally, and I love the concept, love the model, and it's a great, exciting business to be in. And I'm excited. You know what I'm excited? Because it's the first time we've had a franchisor on the podcast. We've had franchisees before. So I've coached franchisees, I've coached franchisors, and I'm just excited to be talking to Dana.
Today, we're going to discuss the power of franchising your business.
So let's get Dana on the line. Hi, Dana. Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, so good to have you. And, Dana and I have known each other for years, and we haven't spoken probably in the last year and a half or so because pandemic got in there and I was doing other things and you were doing other things. But I wanted to have you on our podcast to talk a little bit about franchising. And it's so exciting. Where are you calling from in today? Where are you calling in from today?
I'm in Dallas today. Yeah, that's where we're headquartered here in Dallas.
Dallas, Texas. Yeah, we'll be flying through Dallas on Tuesday, heading over to Utah for a conference. And I found out you're going to be at the same conference next week. So we're going to hang out live and which is exciting.
To see you.
We haven't been together in a couple of years live, so it's going to be awesome. And so
it's been a while.
I'd like you to do is start out. You own a franchise. You were actually the franchisor, the big kahuna person who owns the business. We've talked to franchisees before, but never to the big cheese, the franchisor. So tell us a little bit about your schools and the name of the business, how many locations you have, any details about it. Tell us a little bit about even how you got into the childcare field.
Yeah, well, I'll start there at the beginning. I was in the financial industry for about 12 years, and I adopted my daughter. I had planned on continuing in the financial industry, climbing the corporate ladder, And my priorities changed immediately when I adopted my daughter. So it was, I started reevaluating everything that I was doing in life. I put her into childcare, and she was in childcare for about 3 or 4 months. We didn't have a great experience. And so I hired a nanny. I brought her home and hired a nanny to take care of her. So that was like the first pivotal moment in my life to getting to this point. Then about 6 months later, I had an appointment on a Saturday to get my hair done, and I had a babysitter lined up for my daughter, and she canceled at the last minute. So I called my sister in a panic. I was like, what do you do? She had 4 kids. And she said, well, take her with you or you cancel your appointment, which, I ended up having to cancel, but it wasn't you had to wait another 4 months to get in for your appointment. So it was another pivotal moment for me that I started really kind of looking around, talking to friends, talking to other parents out there about, what do you do when you want to work out? What do you do when you want to go out on a date night? And, I got the same answers. It's like, well, you get a babysitter. If they cancel, you stay home, bottom line. So I knew that there had to be a different way of doing childcare, a different model out there, because parents need that flexibility. And so we started doing a lot of research and trying to figure out what would work for all ages, for all parents. And we came up with Adventure Kids Playcare. And we wanted parents to have an option where kids wanted to go, where you didn't have to say, oh, you're gonna have a babysitter tonight, and you hear do you want pizza, or what movie do you want to watch? We wanted a place where kids could come in, they could play basketball if they wanted to. We have, they could learn how to make slime, tie-dye, whatever they wanted to do. It was just a fun option. So our centers are open 6 to 7 days a week. We're open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. during the week and until midnight on Friday and Saturdays. Some locations are open on Sundays. Some locations have birthday parties. But yeah, it's the best part about it, though, is that parents pay as they go. They're not committed to a certain number of hours or a certain number of days. They can drop off for 30 minutes to go work out. They can drop off for 4 hours, whatever they need.
Awesome. That's cool.
Can you tell us why you decided to franchise as a model for your business and how it's worked out for you so far?
Yeah. So when we first opened, the third weekend, Saturday night, we had a line out the door. So I knew we were onto something. And within a few months, I started looking for the second location. Right after I started looking for the second location, I had someone that approached me that had heard about the business and was interested in franchising, asked if we would franchise. And so my answer was, sure, of course. We have no idea how to do it, but we'll learn, we'll figure it out. And I mean, that's how we got into it. And we have, right now we have 18 locations. We have 2 in development. We still have our first franchisee, very successful. And we've learned as we've gone through the business, we've learned what to do.
Yeah. I mean, we all make mistakes in business growing up. That's how you learn. How
Absolutely.
many years, like how long, what was your first one? What year was it?
We started the first one in 2004. Second location opened in 2005, exactly 1 year later. And then the first franchise opened in 2006.
Right.
Wow.
So you've been
So it's
steady,
been a
slow
while.
growth right around.
We have,
And
yeah, absolutely. And, this is such a different model in childcare that we really wanted to make sure that it worked in different markets. We are in Dallas, we're in Seattle, we're in Austin, we're in Houston, just opened up in New Jersey. These are all very different markets. So it's important to make sure that, you have your demographics down, what co-tenants you need around you, what other kid-focused businesses you need around you. So it was a lot of study and learning.
yeah. And it sounds like you've got it pretty perfected by now. So we
do, yeah.
Are you want to trying to ramp up now? Or are you trying to grow it even bigger?
Yes, we are. We're to the point where we are ready to start growing much faster. We see the need that we feel in every community that we go into. I can be standing in the Bellevue location in Seattle, and I can hear a parent walk in the door and say, I'm so glad you're here. I didn't have another resource. I have a meeting. I need childcare for 2 hours. I hear the same thing in Austin. I hear the same thing in Houston. And we're just opened up our 18th location in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Same thing. So there is such a need out there that we are ready to expand much faster.
Awesome. So what would you say the best part is about working with your franchisees?
Mm-hmm. Working with franchisees, when you first start a business, it can be really lonely. You don't have a sounding board. You don't have, and at the time I didn't, have a network around me. And with franchisees, we have a built-in peer group, and they're all vested in your success. So my franchisee can pick up the phone and call another franchisee, an older, franchisee, and they know what they're talking about. They know what they're going through, and it can be a sounding board. It can be resourcefulness for your, ideas, just bouncing ideas off of each other as well. So having that network built in is such a benefit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is great. And do anybody own more than one, or are they all single owner franchises?
Yeah, we have a couple of people that own
okay.
more than one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That goes to show you, I mean, usually when you have multi-owners, it means they've made success on one, they wanted multiple. That's a testimony
right.
to the success of the model as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Brian was your personal one-on-one coach for over a year. Can you tell us how coaching helped you?
Yes, absolutely. In being a business owner, it's so important to invest in your growth, and coaching is one of those ways to do it. And I still have a coach to this day. Having someone to talk to as far as, venting or coming up with new ideas, or just being that sounding board. And with Brian, it was great because, Brian had been there, done that in the industry, wealth of information. And it was always so enjoyable to talk to him. And, you always walk away with a moment like, oh, I never thought of that.
Right. And coaching is all about helping the person you're coaching find within them the answers to what they're struggling with. Coaches don't always have the answers, but they help you find out the answers that you already know and do. And you're a great student. I love working with you. And you taught me a lot. I mean, you taught me a lot. I've always learned from people that I work with as well. And it was definitely different coaching a franchisor than a franchisee, which I've done both, by the way. But you're always a pleasure to work with. And I'm so glad to be able to reconnect, and can't wait to hang out next week live.
Yeah, absolutely. And having a coach, I will say, especially working with you, was being able to kind of tweak your mindset when you needed to, because being a business owner, your mindset is so important every day, how you walk in, how you get up in the morning. And you were always that positive, influence in that. So.
Well, thank you. It always touches my heart. I kind of hate when people talk about me, around me. Sorry, Carol's got the coffee fit.
That's okay.
That's all right. She didn't want to put the mute button because I'm talking to you.
Right.
Sorry.
That's all right. We got a little cough button. It's quite all right. We don't edit our podcast, so you're going to get the coughing right in there, and we want to make sure it's genuine. So no big deal. So Dana, if somebody's listening to this podcast and maybe has interest in your franchise to open, how would they contact you?
Through our website, adventurekidsplaycare.com. There's a franchise page there that talks about, franchising, what it is, some of the steps, some of the cost of it. So it has most of the information. There's a form there that you can fill out and reach out to us as well.
So if, let's just say, we have a childcare center owner on the podcast listening that's saying, you know what, I think I want to franchise my model. I've got something that I think other people don't have, that I think other people would pay for. What kind of advice would you give that person? Obviously, they're probably not a model that competes against you. You got pretty much a very unique model. But what advice would you want to give to that person?
Yeah, I get this question a lot. And I think the first thing is to make sure that your business is profitable and to make sure you have at least 2 or 3 locations where you know this model works, that you just didn't get lucky. You know, this model works in different markets. And then having a great franchise attorney, someone that is very experienced, is important. There is a International Franchise Association that has a website that has resources for franchise attorneys. I would definitely go that route. And people, you know, I'm more than happy to talk to people about franchising and my experiences and mistakes and all of that. So anyone can reach out to me as well.
Oh, that's very generous of you. Did you find out when you started it that it was more difficult or easier? What, I mean, you must have had a preconceived notion what it would be like. Was it did it meet your expectations, and what was the good and the bad?
Yeah, you know, I think generally it's good. But there's a lot of legal paperwork. There's a lot of, we have to go through an audit every single year. And so some of that admin behind the scenes work that you have to go through, that would be the only negative. But I think, you know, going into franchising, you have to have a heart that you want to see that franchisee succeed. This is not about making money. This is about taking someone who's never owned a business and teaching them how to run a business, how to have the right mindset, and how to be successful. And if you know that you have a business that does good and will do good in different areas, that's most important.
So you do a lot of coaching. So you coach your franchisees. Would you say that you're their coach? And so if you want to do this model, you need to become the mentor basically for your people and not the boss. You're not the boss of them. You're the mentor, you're the guide, you're the leader, you're in business with them. You want their success. It's a whole different mindset, I think, than the employer-employee relationship.
Absolutely. You can tell your employees what to do. You cannot tell your franchisees what to do. You can coach them on what to do, but it's a completely different business. So we have our childcare business, but then we have our franchise business
as well. And what would you say if you had to do it all over again? Would you do something different?
No, I wouldn't.
Beautiful.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. No, it's I could say I would have done it sooner, but everything just lined up to work and to guide me into this. Life looks very different than I imagined, but it's fun. It's a fun business to be in, you know, and you guys know working around kids there's nothing better than that. So being able to work around kids, being able to coach and see families become successful as business owners is, you know, it's very fulfilling.
It is an awesome line of work, and it takes a special person to be to want to do it in the first place and to be successful at it. But your success is in the outcome of the children, not the income of the business. You know, we make a difference each and every day, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So today we have a mindset question for you. Where's your happy place?
My happy place is, you know, like everyone, it's the beach. I think, you know, that's one of my favorite places. But my real happy place is being in the pit of a Dave Matthews Band concert, dancing and singing at the top of my lungs. That's it.
That is interesting. How many times have you done that in your life? Have you done it before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot.
Really? That's interesting. So we just want to be teenagers forever, right, Dana?
Exactly. You have to have fun.
Exactly. I told Carol, say someday I'm going to grow up, but I'm just not ready yet. I like having fun too. Is there any other nuggets that you'd like to share with our audience before we leave?
You know, I mean, I would say that we talked about this, but mindset and being positive and that's the most important part of running a business, especially childcare. You have to be there for the kids. So that's
100%. You mentioned earlier that you remember seeing me speak at conferences. And mindset is something that I always speak from stage, because if you have a bad mindset, all the semantics and all your processes, they don't work if the mindset of the owner is just not there. And you can't, it's like putting a puzzle together with one piece missing and the biggest piece. And you can't see the whole picture because the biggest piece is missing. And mindset is such an integral part to the success of your childcare business. And the owner's mindset, then down to the director, then down to the team. That's why culture is so important. But it always starts at the top with the owner and their mindset. And that's why Carol and I have dedicated, we've written 2 books on mindset, and we're focusing in on that's such an important part of a business. And I wanted to share that. And thank you so much for sharing that with me earlier, that our talks on mindset motivated you years ago and still do today. And so we want to thank Dana Oliver for coming on the podcast today. We want to say we look forward to hanging out next week in Utah.
Absolutely.
And hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you both.
What a great interview.
Awesome. It's different. It's a drop-in model. I'm sure it doesn't work in all markets. Probably would not work where I am because it's different kind of market. But in big cities where there's a lot of people that work varying schedules, and on a big market like that, I could definitely see how that could make out. And I mean, 18 locations already. That's growing fast. And I just love Dana. She has a great attitude and a great mindset. So if you need help in your childcare business and you would like us to help you, visit our website at childcaregenius.com. Click on the coaching tab, and you'll see an option for a free coaching call. We would love to help you grow your business. Hop on a 30-minute call with me. I'll give you some great tips to help grow your program. Now, this podcast is sponsored by Elif Childcare Insurance.
Give Blake a call at 972-754-8595 to get a free quote on childcare insurance today.
This concludes episode 20 of the Childcare Genius podcast. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to spend it with us.
Just a reminder to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Childcare Genius podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help your childcare business grow. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.